Okay, gang, we need to take a quick hydration break. So grab your drink of choice. And as you rehydrate, I'll give you the lowdown on my free LinkedIn lead gen masterclass. If you feel like you're screaming into the void when you post content on Facebook or Instagram, struggling to find a sustainable and scalable lead generation process that sticks, and you just want someone who's been there and done that to reveal their secrets, then it's critical that you register to save your spot ASAP. During this live masterclass, you'll get to steal the exact strategy I used to scale my income from $0 to 1 million in just 19 months without spending a fortune on ads or suffering from burnout. Simply check out the show notes of the podcast episode for the link to register for your free spot in the LinkedIn Lead Gen Masterclass. And don't worry, even if you miss a couple of days or you can't make it to all the training sessions, we'll deliver the replays directly into your inbox daily so you can watch them on your own time. All you have to do is make sure you sign up for the masterclass before registration ends. Hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnouttooallout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in. All right, Miss Monica.
Hi. Oh my goodness. I get so excited every time I'm going to talk to you. So thank you for giving me this opportunity. But my win is, so I'm a baby solopreneur. I just signed up in August for your LinkedIn Academy. And oh my goodness. So I've grown my network from 101 people to 211.
Good job.
In the last couple of weeks, which I feel very excited about. I've really worked on my avatar. So who I am. So I am a health and life coach with a nursing background, and I'm specializing working with burnt out professionals feeling depleted in every area of life. And I help them reclaim energy, purpose, and balance without sacrificing success. So I have kind of two questions. I feel like my niche and my avatar is still a little bit wide, and burnt out professionals with an open kind of mindset and personal growth mindset are certainly in my avatar. And I'm wanting to niche down to healthcare workers specifically. Mm-hmm. I'm getting a lot of resistance from nurses. I'm a nurse. We're, again, kind of not very good at taking care of ourselves. And they're not very active on LinkedIn is what I've also found. So I'm going to go to my first question. You've answered so many of my little questions along the way. So I am coming across a little bit scattered here. Content creation is where I'm feeling I'm bumping up into the problem in terms of I'm so overwhelmed because I have so much information that I want to put out. And I have been using your strategies. So I'm doing the things. I've gone through 50% of your material already because I'm like consuming everything. But content pillars, I'm feeling kind of stuck. I go to sit down to kind of work on, okay, I'm going to work on 2 weeks worth of content. And I just get overwhelmed. And so I guess I would just love a little bit of whether it's coaching or questioning or helping me find a little direction.
Yeah.
My hashtags right now are habit change, behavior change, mindfulness, neuroscience, and wellness journey. So those are kind of the things that I'm focusing on.
These are like your content pillars?
Yeah. Yeah. And obviously my snowflake is like, I'm a nurse bringing my nursing background into the health and life coaching space. I'm also bringing in like, I really love gardening and watching the life cycle of the garden and the attention on that. So I want to bring that in as well. So those are a lot of words that I just gave you. Yeah. I guess I just need a little direction, and I don't know what comes up when I shared all that with you.
Yeah. So you said that you've got a lot of ideas and a lot of content, but you're feeling a little scattered when it comes to sitting down and writing it. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. Like even today, I'm like, okay, I have the day off. I can plan for the next 2 weeks. I want to sit down with this chunk of time. But then I sit down and I'm like, I don't know. I want to talk about habit change and behavior change and mindfulness and neuroscience. And like, where do I start? How do I do this?
Yeah. Okay. So here's my 2 cents. Here's how I've always created content. Number one, you've done a great job in time blocking. What I try to do on creative days is I try to make them luxurious. So like I got a fancy Nespresso machine and like the little frother, and I get like the essential oils or a candle going. Maybe this sounds a little crazy for some of you guys, but I'm telling you, I get into like my silky pajamas. I've got this little white couch, like Chase Lounge here. And so I make it like something I'm really looking forward to doing, like dropping into, but I also like turn off all notifications, like everything. So my phone can't ping. If I'm typing on my computer and notifications aren't coming up, there's so much that's lost in thought process and creativity because of distraction, right? I'll even lock my dog up because he barks at everything that goes like through the front window, right? And then sit down and just start writing. Like what I would suggest is instead of trying to be like, I got to write about this, and then I got to write about this, and then I got to write about this. But you guys, up until last year, I wrote the content, not only for me, but for all of my agency clients. Like I wrote it, right? Yeah. And so this is what I would do. I create the pillars, right? There's like 5 pillars for each client, including myself. But what I would do is create like a sheet that's good for like a month or 2, and then have the pillars each week. Because here's the thing that I found about myself is I would get into one topic and really start running with it. And it was like actually way more content than anything you could fit into like 1 week of a content block, right? And so instead of being like, okay, I got to stop here and then move to the next content pillar, and then I got to stop here, and I would like stay in that one category, like behavior change, right? And just free flow, write a ton of shit, and then cut it up and make it 2 months worth of content. Instead of trying to like brain switch from one topic to the next and say, I have to force 5 days of content this week, practice getting into a flow state and just let it ooze out of your body till you're done with that topic. But if you don't make content creation fun and sexy and block your calendar, you're not going to give yourself the runway in your calendar to get it done before you're like, oh, I've got that call with that client. Oh, my kid's calling about XYZ. Oh, my husband needs me for blah, blah, blah. You've totally lost your flow state. You're done. And not like you're just, it doesn't work as well. So this is just from coming from someone who's literally written content for clients for quite some time, including myself, is like creating a space in one pillar till I was just done with that thought process. Sometimes there's like subcategories. I might go weeks talking about one thing that's like 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, right? And then break it all down and then go back to the next category, right? And so maybe the next one is how to change, right? And then do what you can there. So I actually never wrote for just a week at a time. I would actually time block and write for an entire month. And sometimes there'd be so much I could write about that in certain categories, I'd start spilling over into the next month, into that document, right? And then go back to the next topic and write what you can, right? And so I personally find that to be a really effective way to create content, is that instead of like forcing your brain to switch from one topic to the next, to the next, to the next for this week, is to just focus on one and see how far you can go. And then focus on the next one and see how far you can go, right? And for those of you who are kind of at a loss of content, some of you are just lost because you're not very inspired right now. I find that when you're inspired, you're oozing with ideas. And so if you're feeling a little lackluster from an inspiration standpoint, like pick up some podcasts, pick up some books. Some of the best content you can literally hijack off of something that you learn that you want to reshare. And so don't be afraid to do that either. Like just ending your night or starting your morning with a personal development book in your area of expertise, and then highlighting can be your kickstart to writing your content later that day, right?
Love that. Love that. Yeah. That even just broke down the overwhelms. Like I teach my clients that overwhelm is too many things all at once. Like, oh, just focus.
I know. It's so true, right? There's just all this noise. Believe me, there's so much noise in my world between my businesses and my 3 kids and the dog and like being at the house all day with things being delivered. And so it's like, I made a post about this the other day. Your attention, your focus is an asset. Like protect it and choose it wisely. Notifications from your phone. Like my team knows, I'll tell Allie, I'm going down into a creative hole. I'll be back in an hour. Don't expect a response from me. Because at the end of the day, like if someone's dying or my kids need me, like the school, they can get a hold of me. Otherwise, everything is blocked off. Everything else are other people's urgent needs. They need you to get their urgent needs done, which is stopping you from what's important but not urgent. Right? And so what happens is we let other people's urgent needs eat into our time block of something that may not necessarily be urgent and need to be done this second. So we put it aside. And then the quality of it's just crap because we haven't prioritized it because it's important. It's just not necessarily urgent.
So good. And if I could just ask one more, do you have an opinion? And this is, I guess, just your opinion. I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to niche down for specifically burnt out healthcare workers.
Yeah.
And I guess my hesitation has been, especially with this LinkedIn energy, is that there's just nurses aren't on LinkedIn as much as like I'm on LinkedIn right now. They are because they're looking for a way out of nursing. And those are the ones I want to speak to.
I was going to see if Allie, if you could speak to this, because I've heard kind of opposing views on this. I've actually heard some people do pretty well in recruiting for people in the healthcare space because the miserable folks are active on LinkedIn looking for other opportunities. Allie's a nurse. She left and she's working with me now. So maybe she can speak to it.
Well, I was on LinkedIn because Melissa told me to be. So I've known Melissa longer than all of this. So yeah, I was on LinkedIn, but I do know like several of my coworkers and such, or former coworkers, are on LinkedIn. And it's not necessarily because they're looking. Some of them are on because, well, I guess they're looking, but it's open opportunity. But now more people are burnt out than ever. And hospitals are shorter than ever. So people are on there looking, right? But you can also scoop them up and be like, hey.
Yeah. And then I guess, so speaking to your like reaching out to people on LinkedIn who just go on every once in a while, I'm wondering if I should just because I have, of course, so many people on my network are in the healthcare space. If I like put blasts out to like nurses, are you burnt out? And while they might not be active, they're going to get that message and be like, oh, I should go and check out her profile, even though I'm not actively on the space. Is that something you recommend?
So you mean your current network, like send DMs to all of them?
DMs and or reach out to connect to nurses.
Okay.
Potential connections that I'm not connected with yet. And while they might only be on there like once or twice in the next like month,
Yeah.
they're going to get that message from me and maybe inquire further.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. This is the power of LinkedIn, right? Like you could send out some connection requests and just let them know, hey, I see we've got common threads. I was in nursing and recently left to launch my own business supporting burnout in healthcare. I'd love to connect with you. And I'm just curious, like, how are things going in your work environment? And just put it out there.
Okay. Yeah. Love that. I'm going to do that. Awesome. I really appreciate your time. Focus on me.
And this is kind of the point I wanted to make for Renee, is that there's a lot of people who check their email but aren't necessarily on LinkedIn. And so if a bot is connecting with 900 people, could be a large chunk of them who actually see the connection through their email inbox and they accept it, but they're not really hanging out over there. But creating that personal message, I don't know, maybe you could answer this, Allie. Does the verbiage in the request to connect show up in the email in the inbox or like on their email inbox, or do they have to go to the message to actually see the custom message?
I think it just comes as an email like such and such sent you a connection request on. So in that point, you could like put something in your name to make them want to look.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Thank you. Awesome feedback. I really appreciate it.
Yes, yes. Thanks, guys, so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. I cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.